Hello to everybody, the FutureTrend channel is again with you. Today is April 18 and we'd like to emphasize an important factor which is driving at the moment the rates in the foreign exchange market. And it's the concentration of market participants on fundamental economic data. As you can see, for example, the euro dollar yesterday, during the course of the day, we see that first of all the euro dollar was very well supported in the morning, but after the publication of German Economic Institute ZUF regarding the business environment in the most important economy of the European Union, German economy, and after we saw that the business environment deteriorated rather well in Germany, that's as you can see provoke a kind of weakness in the euro dollar rate. Anyway, now the pair is trading around 123.70, and as we told a lot of times during our previous reports, it needs to break above its short-term downtrend located at 24.30 to convince the bulls in future acceleration of the prices to the north. At the moment, also we'd like to pay your attention on a longer term uptrend located at around 122.65, and of course there is a rather important downside barrier around lower threshold of currently established range at 121.50. So all in all, the situation is looking more or less neutral for the euro dollar, while we're trading inside of this band between 121.50 and 125.50. As regarding the other pairs, Dalian still trading below its critically important resistance barrier 107.90, and while so, it should resume its current kind of bear phase. Anyway, the break above 107.90 could provoke a larger extension to the upside. As regarding the sterling, here the situation is under control of the incoming economic data coming from the UK economy. As you know, yesterday, of course, the labor market report was more or less good. Anyway, if you look at the average earnings index of this labor report, it was a little bit lower than expected. The market was expected 3%, but actually the number came in 2.8%. That means that inflation expectations are a little bit lower than was before, and that means that today the market will concentrate much more attention on the incoming consumer price inflation coming from the UK. So we like to pay your attention on this economy, on this kind of economic data, because in case of confirming of the lowering inflation expectations in UK economy, that will mean that probably the market is a little bit exaggerated the possible hike conducted by the Bank of England at its next policy meeting scheduled in May. And in this case we could see a kind of downside correction of the British pound. Also not just against the United States dollar, but also against the European unit, and we will speak about this a little bit later in our portion of analysis regarding euro crosses. Finally, some words probably for the currency number one in terms of weakness against the United States dollar, the Swiss franc. We'd like to pay your attention and to caution against overextending of short positions in the Swiss franc. because the Swiss National Bank never used its currency as a currency, kind of funding currency. That means that, as you can see now, the market is a little bit overextended with its positioning regarding the Swiss national currency as a funding currency for its operations. For example, when you take Swiss francs and in the money market and convert it in other currencies with higher interest rates. That means that in case of normalization of monetary policy from the side of S&B, it could provoke a larger abrupt kind of correction in the Swiss franc to the upside. So be vigilant regarding this matter. That's why we still keep our short trade recommendation in the dollar Swiss, and in case of closing above 0.97 we will close our position by stop loss, but anyway we will try to resell the pair around 0.9870, where is another important upside barrier of a longer term downtrend. At the moment that's all. Some later we will come with our analysis of euro crosses. Bye bye for now. It was your Future Trend channel.